Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori. This is Africa 54, where tonight the United States has reopened several of its diplomatic missions in North Africa and the Middle East. However, 19 embassies and consulates in the region remain closed due to security concerns. Embassies in Algiers, Kabul and Baghdad are among the posts the State Department authorized to open on Monday. American officials closed the missions and issued a global travel alert for American citizens last week, warning of a strong potential for terrorist attacks. The State Department says it is keeping the 19 remaining posts closed through Saturday out of an abundance of caution. The U.S. North African embassies in Cairo and Tripoli are among those remaining closed. And now, for more insight on the embassy's security concerns and closings, VOA's Carla Babb joins us live from the U.S. State Department. Hello, Carla.
Hi, Vincent. Closing this many embassies for security reasons is an unprecedented move, and one that officials here at the State Department are not taking lightly. Many of these embassies were actually going to be closed for the bulk of the week due to celebrations at the end of Ramadan, but the State Department decided to extend these closings to protect its citizens and to protect its employees. This is not going to be due to any new threat, they've said. As you recall, last week there was some chatter, there was some intelligence that there was a threat from Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula that's based in Yemen, and that's when they issued the travel alert to Americans around the world that you mentioned, and this travel alert is going to remain in place until the end of August. Now, one thing that was particularly interesting is that despite reopening some of the embassies, they've closed 4 embassies in African nations. That's Rwanda, Madagascar, Mauritius, and Burundi.
Now, Carla, do you get some sense of why those in the sub-Saharan Africa were also added to this list?
Well, they're not going to release any details, any reasons why, and they're not talking about the specifics of the chatter that led to these closings. But Africa has a history of terrorist attacks against the United States. In 1998, the bombings in Kenya and Tanzania, hundreds of people were killed in those embassy bombings, 12 of them Americans. And there was an attack just a few months ago, less than a year ago, on the consulate in Benghazi, Libya. The ambassador there, Chris Stevens, was killed, and this is fresh on Americans' minds.
Now, these are many embassies, very significant locations. What does this mean to the Americans who are in those countries and also to the citizens of those countries who may want to do business with the U.S.?
Well, this is just a sign that the war on terror is an ongoing process. I was talking to someone from the Middle East Institute, Graham Bannerman, and he said that there's always going to be organizations that want to attack Americans, that hate America, and the diplomatic people in these areas have to deal with this. At the end of the day, if you're going to deal with inconvenience from closings or the loss of lives, you'd rather keep your people safe.
Yes. Do we know at all whether these embassies that remain closed will be reopened all at once, or they're going to be giving us piecemeal openings in different regions?
Well, they've only said that they're going to be closed through Saturday. We're assuming now that many of these will reopen at the end of the time, but they do have leeway to keep these closed indefinitely.
Well, Carla, thanks a lot for giving us those updates.